Scott, I know the first thing I wanted to talk about today was there were a couple headlines that popped up in Amazon this week, including one about stranded inventory, which actually caused us a little bit of an issue. You guys may or may not remember that a few weeks ago, Amazon duplicated our listing like 4 different times on one of the listings in the new brand, and they decided to put inventory in each of those listings. When we talked to the catalog team, they consolidated it and deleted those listings, but we had sold some from each of those, which resulted in some stranded inventory. In the past, it would just kind of sit there, and after, I think it's like 30 or 60 days, Dom, you may know the exact number, they would just dispose of it if you didn't do anything else with it. Well, as of about a week ago, I think it was September 21st, Scott, they now stop you from sending in inventory if there's any stranded inventory on a listing in Amazon. And so we had to kind of scrounge around, deal with Seller Central, and figure out that they had deleted the listings and that there was just inventory floating around. It took about 2 hours to resolve, but at the end of the day, not that big of a deal. Basically, they just recreated all of the extra listings that they had created for us originally. That let the inventory sync back up, and then we were able to send in a shipment. So if you guys get a stranded inventory notification from Amazon over the next few days, make sure that you take a look at that right away, because if you have anything sitting in that stranded inventory status, you're actually not going to be able to do anything in terms of shipping new inventory into Amazon until that's resolved. And you can resolve that a few different ways. 1, you can tell them just to go ahead and dispose it. 2, you can do a removal order. Or 3, you can actually do a fulfillment order to send it to somebody if that's what you want to do with it. But any way that you can get inventory out of Amazon, you can deal with that stranded inventory that way. The other thing, Scott, that I know is on the list today is it is September 29th, which means we are 2 days away from Q4 and a whole bunch of fun and shenanigans and chicanery and a little bit of garbage time antics that are going to happen in Q4. So I wanted everybody to be aware of that. And I'm curious if everybody that's hanging out with us is ready as well. Scott, I know there were a few things you wanted to cover today, but those were the 2 things that I wanted to get out of the way right at the beginning.
There was a couple things that I wanted to cover today. Can you remind me what they were?
This week.
There's been a lot of things going on here, Chris, and not just with the Amazon business, but I'm having some work done on the house here. I'm having a pool put in, and it's been a pretty crazy week. I felt like I was back in my construction days trying to get my subcontractors to do the work and to get the people that I'm dealing with to get on the same page. So it's been a little frustrating. The other thing that I've learned, Chris, is people that have a title in business seem to think that they have a lot of power. Is that true, Chris? Do they have power in a sense? I mean, I guess they kind of do.
Titles, and that to me is like the whole thing behind a title, right? It tells you how many people you're in charge of and how many people you have power over, right? Anybody can be a CEO in their own business, but if you're a CEO at a Fortune 500, it has kind of the feeling of power, right? And that's why people kind of gravitate towards those things, even when they start their own business, right? You say, I'm a CEO. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm also the only employee. So
But anyway, I've learned a lot this week. I've learned a lot of how not to deal with customers, because these guys are dealing with me in a way that they shouldn't be dealing with me as a customer. But anyway, I wrote an email today that went out that talked about that. I always try to take something that's happening right now and turning it into a positive. It's been a stretch this week to make it into a positive because I've been frustrated. But I'm dealing with it, and we're going to get it done. And I've just learned that it really comes down to some simple principles in business. Doesn't matter if you own a furniture store or if you own, I don't know, an ice cream shop. You got to treat people good, and you got to keep them informed. If I'm selling, I don't know, something, if I'm a supplier of a company that is a bar owner and they're expecting their chicken nuggets or their chicken tenders to be delivered and they're not going to show up on time, and I want to keep their business, I better call them and say, hey, Mr. Business owner, want to let you know your chicken tenders are not going to be delivered today because of X, Y, and Z, right? That's going to keep me at least in the loop. I'm going to be happy. My whole point is this. If you have a customer that emails you and they have a problem, email them back instantly. Don't avoid them. Don't think the problem is going to go away. So to me, customer service is key. And then just being really cool to people is key. So That's my little rant. That's what I wanted to talk about, Chris. Is that what you were?
I think that you would want to kind of recap that email just because I think it is important. And Scott, you and I have talked about this a few different times on Facebook Live, but right after we started doing these power hours, he walked into a coffee shop and they had a sign that said no free refills.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, first of all, like, I wouldn't assume that I could get a free refill, except you put this coffee out here for everybody to use. Like, that's just weird. And to me in business, there's a couple different things. First, the big main promise, the thing that you should be doing on a daily basis is under promise, over deliver, right? Mm-hmm. You always want to do the best that you can to over deliver. And that's why we talk about the importance of customer service. Even though Amazon handles returns and a lot of those kinds of things for us, if you give somebody a refund instantly, before they go through the entire Amazon process, which quite honestly, as somebody who has returned some things to Amazon, can be kind of a pain in the butt to get your money back. And if I have a really negative experience with your product, you just give me that back and then let me handle the process. That goes a long way to helping me out. But just doing little things can go a long way. And what you're talking about, Scott, is kind of number two, which is just setting expectations, right? We all have different expectations, and you guys have heard it thrown around like the customer's always right, except when they're wrong. But even when they're wrong, you can pretend that they're right by doing some things. And in your case, Scott, it's simply a communications issue, right? If they would have sent you an email and said, we're not going to be there today, we're going to be there tomorrow, that would be okay, right? But instead, they're just not showing up. So the way that this kind of translates online is, okay, I need to return my Amazon product. I send you as a seller an email and I hear nothing. You've processed the return, but it doesn't email me, it doesn't do anything. And magically a week and a half later, I get an envelope in the mail that is my return envelope, right? Well, there's a reason that Amazon monitors seller emails, and they have performance metrics based on how fast you respond or say that you don't need to respond to things inside of Amazon Seller Central. And it's so that they can create that expectation of interaction. In that week that I'm waiting for that envelope and you've told me nothing, I just assume you're ignoring me. And a lot of customers feel that.
It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You know, that's bottom line.
If it was simply a problem with a broken product, well, now I'm probably never going to buy from you ever again.
100%.
In addition to that,
and so many people focus on the customer once when they get the customer, but they don't worry about the customer after the fact, and that's a big one. I want to ask Dom. Dom, well, number one, you're wearing your 1K Fast Track shirt today. I'm proud of you. That looks awesome on you, by the way. Looks good. Looks a little big too. So things are going good over there on that end. I can't see the 1K though. Can you show me the 1K? Can you sit up a little bit? Come on, sit up a little straighter. Come on. There we go. There it is. All right, 1K Fast Track. I love it. Actually, Dom, I wanted to talk about that really quickly because I was in the group this morning and I seen some 1K Fast Trackers were in there actually posting some cool deals that they found, and then they couldn't find any more in their area, so they were letting everybody know inside the group, hey, if you find these certain items, go get them. Like, you know, so we'll talk about that. But I want to ask you, Dom, do you have a system in place that reads the emails that come in from your customers? So if there's a problem, if there's a question, how responsive are you and how important do you think that is?
Yeah, we have a full in-house that we do basically for both our private label and our retail ARB. So we have two people doing two separate because we don't want to mix them up, but
sure.
Yeah, it's always a customer first basis, I guess. You know, there's obviously a situation where, because we've been selling so long on these platforms, again, today it happened a couple of times, people know how to manipulate the system online. So face-to-face customer service and and an email customer service, there's a lot of transition. There's a lot that's missed or left out. You know what I'm saying? It's not personal.
Right.
Yeah. You can't, you got to be pretty well on perfect when you respond to these type of emails so you don't make the customer unappreciative or mad versus a phone call version or doing an in-person customer service. So we have all those in places. I mean, to be honest, we have a lot of a same type of templates because they're all the same questions. Do you ship here? Do you ship there? Do you combine shipping? That type of stuff. So, but as far as issues with the problems, we just have a simple thing, pretty easy. Please send us a picture of your item and we'll help you out. That's it. Send a picture. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. We basically take the Costco approach. No problem. Keep it. Here's your money. Next. Cool. Like we just don't worry about it. Years ago, we used to be like, "Oh, prove it to us. Let's check it out." It's too much work.
Right.
It's just way. It takes up so much bandwidth,
and it leaves a bad taste.
Email back and
right?
forth.
It's like you're doubting them, and we had someone last night actually on our workshop, and they said, Scott, you offer this 30-day satisfaction guarantee on your course and stuff, and on the class, but can't people like rip you off? Can't they like join and then like refund and get all the information in 30 days? And I go, yeah, they could, but here's the deal. Like most people, I think, have a conscience. And they're thinking to themselves, I'm going to do the right thing. I wouldn't do that to Scott and Chris and the community because they built something and it's work, right? But there's going to be people that are going to manipulate the system. There's people that are manipulating Amazon. There's people that are manipulating Google. There's people that are going to do that. I don't think you can live in fear of it, right?
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, that was one of the biggest concerns on the 1K Fast Track and the group that the first group, the second people, how do I returns? I just sold my, and a guy wants to return it. And, you get kind of used to it after a while. Now, to make it a little easier on your decision if you whether you want to take returns or not, Amazon, eBay already have the stuff in place that kind of force you to do it regardless. So any issue, you're going to be forced to take it back anyway. So you might as well just take care of it right away.
Yeah,
you're just going to open up a claim, and once they open an A to Z claim, you're pretty well done. As far as eBay, it's a little harder, for the consumer to put a claim in and get it granted. Especially if it's delivered and they're saying it's not delivered. As long as you show track, where Amazon you need a signature and it has to show tracking. So they have a little bit of different placement, but we try to take customer at its own word. But there are times. I mean, I could send you tons of examples every month where we know they're trying to manipulate the system because they're professionals at it. They know I don't like it, and then instead of saying it's the wrong, they didn't like the size of it, they put it. We sent the wrong color, and then eBay automatically wants you to pay for the return.
Right.
So, but we have techniques in place to try and minimize that. As far as private label, because it's all FBA, they take care of it, and we try to take it in house before it even gets to FBA. So if they didn't receive this in time or it's missing this, should I send it back? We say, no, don't bother. Keep it, while we're getting your full refund, we don't require the item back. Keep it as a token of our customer service gesture. Thank you very much. Then I'll, and they just like it.
I was going to say, and they may even turn into a positive review or a feedback on your account.
Yeah. I mean, maybe out of every 5 people will come back and say, I really appreciate your customer service. That's really a way to handle it. Where the other 4 people are like, yeah, okay, I'll take you up on your offer, but I'm not going to email you back and thank you for it because you need to do that anyway.
That's fine. No,
so,
I can't.
Whatever, yeah.
It's a numbers game, and you're going to get a small percentage out of hundreds or thousands that are buying your product. So I don't think we can live in fear of that. I think you got to do the right thing, and I think ultimately that's going to come back to help you.
I take it as a consumer myself. I have no stress when I buy stuff from Costco.
No.
But if I buy from Best Buy, if I buy a game from EB Games, I'm like, I got to go through all this stress and returning because it's been open and all this stuff. I Costco and I return that thing. I can see people are bringing flowers back and a pop-up tent that they use for the weekend. So people will just take advantage of it. So I don't know how they do it, but again, that's kind of I look at it like what I want to have to deal, especially. Here's my point, Scott. Especially for a $10 or $15 item, just give them the money back. Who cares?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're selling them $150, fitness equipment or guitar, then you might want to have to go back and forth. And why is it returned? It should have been factory sealed. But for $15, it's not worth ruining your whole account for.
Not worth it. Okay, cool. We are going to start talking about Q4 and inventory planning, all that stuff, things that we've just put in place. And what I want to do, though, before we do that is let everyone know that you guys can do us a favor and share this. Can you do that for us? Share us. Give us some Facebook love. Let other people know that we're on, that we're live. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them here on this Power Hour. So, Chris, where did you want to go next?
So first, I wanted to give shout outs to 2 people. One, our buddy Everett. He said, I read Scott's email this morning. It prompted me to send a few emails to some customers who have been waiting on bids for some remodeling work. The email said simply, sorry it's taking so long. I'm not sure when I'll get to writing yours, but it's first, second, third in line, etc. And even that is great,
Love it.
right? Because then at least I know where I stand. Now, you might get an angry email or two back saying, this is unacceptable.
Where the heck are you? You know, yeah.
But at the very least, you've now communicated that, and I would be okay with that. I might not be happy that it's taking so long, but at least I understand what's going on now. And Scott, we had a couple people last night talking about transparency and honesty in this space, and I think that carries through in business. If you can't meet a promise, all you have to do is let people know that you can't meet that promise. Yeah, you're gonna rub one or two people the wrong way, but the vast majority of people are gonna understand because life happens and we're all human beings. So everyone, I think that's great. Our buddy Jason Bear is in the house. I see his Facebook profile picture, which I don't know if he just changed this or if it's always been this, but it's him doing a Santa run. So he's geared up for Q4.
Nice.
He's planning out our weekly shipments to Amazon now. Boost campaigns are looking good to go. We have one getting into homes on Monday, which would be October 2nd. So it sounds like our buddy Jason is taking Q4 real seriously and starting to ramp stuff up on basically day one of Q4 this year, which is going to be a lot of fun. But Scott, the question that I keep getting over and over again, and I wanted to talk to you and Dom, and it's something we've discussed a little bit, but is there an accurate way of doing inventory planning? And I want to get Jason's opinion on this as well, because I know they have kind of a high-scale, headachy version of this. Is there a good way of doing Q4 inventory planning? You and I have bantered back and forth. We've had maybe 5 or 6 discussions on one product that we're not sure of. And I'm actually not sure of the conclusion that we came to after that. I think we said we are just going to go ahead and order an extra couple units just to make sure that we have it, even if it brings us up in the total number of units that we have on hand a little bit. Is there a good way to project what you're going to sell in Q4? And is there a good way or a good tool to use for inventory planning inside of Amazon outside of like the basic tools that they give you? So Dom, have you used anything for inventory planning inside of Amazon?
No, I've not. I look at it once in a while and I just kind of, okay, that's good. We just kind of, again, we try to run on a 500 minimum unit cycle for all our ASINs. So it's already programmed to do that with our manufacturers. So it makes it a little easier for us as far as new products.
But Dom, didn't you also say that generally when your order is, and especially a product that's selling regularly, like if you have 500 units that get sent immediately when they are shipped, you immediately order another 500?
Correct. That's right. Because we're basically, again, that took a year of information. So we knew that we sold through. Right. Basically, so if we ordered 5,000 pieces, we knew within 60 days that would be out of 5,000 pieces. So sometimes we'd have 5,100 pieces. Sometimes we'd have, we'd be pre-selling or we'd be negative for a couple days or not have units for about a week. But yeah, we like to keep it like that. Now, in saying that, we're a little bit behind this year because it's been so hectic, so many things on the go that even some of our Christmas stuff that sold out last year pretty fast, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball. But we're hoping that, again, we're not going to not order stuff because we might not get it in for December 15th or whatever, or the 12th or November 30th, but we'll still keep on that cycle. But yeah, as you get used to the system and the rotation of your stock and your turnover, it gets a little easier. Per ASIN. As you get more ASINs, it gets even harder because now you got to, again, we talked about that last week. Okay, man, I need $50,000 to fill all these new orders, let alone, or $10,000 to fill out all these new orders. Plus I need another 10 to replenish the stuff I'm already going to sell out before Christmas. So it's really difficult to balance that at the beginning.
It really is. And the one thing that I want to mention here, and Jason had said, seasonality is key. And also knowing what your product or other people's products have done in this space. Google Trends is a great way to do that, and Jason had said that. So it's a free tool. Go to Google Trends. But here's the deal. If you've already been through a season, I think that's what you're saying, Dom, too, is that you have that history already. So you can kind of say, well, last year we did this. And you can even say, and this year we've got better sales even. So we know that we're probably going to rank better, so we better scale up. So that's something you can have if you already have history. If you do not have history, now you're playing a little bit of a guessing game. And that's where I would go. And again, Google Trends is good, but I would also go to like Camel or Keepa. And I would look at a competitor that is selling a similar product. And I would look at their BSR over the course of those months and see what it's done. And I think that there could tell you a lot. You
could also do it. You can also do a times factor. So if you're selling, it's your first product and you're selling 8 a day now, you're probably going to sell up to 3 to 5 times that a day at Q4. If it's a gift type product, you can give it away.
Yes.
So if you're selling 10, you might go up to 50 a day. So take 50 and do it from December 1st to the 25th, so you can kind of get an idea of what you want to do. But if you're planning on keeping that product anyways, it doesn't matter. You don't have. I mean, you only buy for fourth quarter once you already have inventory. Like you're buying for the whole, for a turnover of 2,000 pieces and then the next 2,000. It just happens that you're ordering at extra for fourth quarter, but you'll still need them December 29th,
exactly.
Right? You'll still need them January 13th. So it's regardless. Just order. If you think 2,000 is not going to get you through, order 3,000. You're going to sell through them eventually.
And it changes when your next order is going to come in. And that's kind of where I wanted to go, Scott, because the question that I keep seeing like over and over and over again is, how far will my sales go up in Q4? Is it 3X? Is it 4X? Is it 5X? And the answer is it depends, right? It's going to depend on your product and your category. So you do have to look at a couple of those things. And I think Jason hit the nail on the head. One, if you've already been through a season, you can look at what the difference was in your daily sales. But two, definitely take a look at Google Trends. And Scott, I was taking a look at Google Trends on the hot product in our new brand. And ironically, last year between Thanksgiving and Christmas was the all-time high.
Wow.
In Google Trends. And right now we're sitting at about 35 to 40% of that search volume. So if the trend continues, we're going to actually double or triple, which is almost exactly kind of what you and I were talking about in terms of planning that level of traffic. So hopefully that holds for us. But I really like the other idea, Scott. And I don't think we've talked about that on here before, of taking a look at some of the competitors that were selling last year in something like Keepa or Camel, right? And seeing where their BSR went versus where it is normally. If it went way up, then that's awesome. If it stayed kind of the same, you're still going to see an increase in sales, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 times, but you're not going to see like a 4 or 5X increase. If it went from 5,000 to 800, that's when you want to start planning for that 3, 4, 5X increase. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
And the best teacher is experience. And I know Jason knows this firsthand, which is, lost opportunity dollars, right? And Scott, we know that when we were out of inventory on a product for a month in August, it cost us about $35,000 according to Amazon. If we would have stayed on that same velocity. And so we know that in Q4, it's going to be 2 or 3 times that. So we're trying to do everything that we can to avoid running out when everybody is trying to buy it, which means we can actually make the maximum amount of money. And as a result of that, we decided to order an extra, is it 1,000 units, I think is what we said?
Yes. Yeah, it was
over and above what we already had coming in, because like Dom just said, the worst case is then we just have to wait an extra 2 weeks in January.
Yeah, we weren't going to order. We weren't going to order anymore because we had 3,000 coming. We got 1,000 in stock, so we had 4,000. So we thought we were going to be good. And then we kind of started thinking to ourselves, well, maybe we should just order another set, and then that way there, whether we need them or not, they're going to be there. And I have a good feeling that we're probably gonna go into those, but it's one of those things. And again, when you have multiple SKUs, it gets a little bit more challenging because now you're talking every single SKU that you're going to do this with. It's another investment, right? And you're investing all of that money that you've made into inventory to then hopefully cash in on the fourth quarter. And you don't want to be stuck with it as far as excess. Not that you'd be stuck with it, but it's going to take you longer to get rid of it maybe after first quarter or after fourth quarter. So that's kind of the dilemma, but I think that we're choosing them right. We're taking the 3 winners, really, the 4 winners, something like that. And then we're kind of really doubling down on those, but we're still having plenty of inventory of the others. But yeah, it's a balancing act. It really is. And I know Dom has said that before. I mean, you're putting out a lot of cash to get that inventory in. And then from there, you're kind of sitting and waiting until you sell it. So, it can be really rewarding, but it can also be, at the end of the year, you could be like, holy crap, I still got a bunch of this inventory. I got to unload this stuff. So yeah, I would just say, look at Google Trends, look at Keepa or Camel, look at one of your competitors, something similar, and see what they're doing or what they've done. And then you can get a good idea of that. And you know what? Don't stress about it. Like, don't think that, oh my gosh, I got to get it all in right now and just capitalize that fourth quarter, because if I don't, I'm going to miss out. It's like, just get something in there and then get some momentum. And then first quarter is going to be there. Second quarter is going to be there. Third, and then fourth again. Last year, it seems like we were just talking about this not that long ago that we're heading into fourth quarter, right? And here we are again. So it'll be here again next year.
It seems to get faster and faster. I don't know if that.
Well, Chris, you see, as you get older, time goes by a little quicker. You don't quite know that yet because you're still a young pup.
Because I'm 12, apparently.
But as you get older, it does go quicker. My father used to tell me that. I didn't believe him. I believe him now. I'm getting older myself, so I do believe him. But it is true. But yeah, Chris.
That's one of those things. You lose some of those references, right? Like you're not necessarily looking forward to Christmas and worried about, your report card and those kinds of things. So you don't have some of those, I don't know, maybe that was just me. I don't know. But, you don't have some of those time references throughout the year. So it seems to go a lot faster, especially with how busy we are on a daily basis. Yeah. But it is going to come around next year. And I would say, Scott, don't force something in. And I know we've said this the last few weeks, but I keep getting the question. I keep seeing it in the email and on the page. Don't force something in just to put it up. Don't do that, because you'll be able to sell in January. You'll be able to sell in February. You'll be able to sell in next December. Don't force something in just to put it in.
Yeah. Hey, let's get Tom a shot of espresso real quick. He looked like he was going to fall asleep on me there. Can someone smack him in the side of the face? Hey, if your wife's sitting next to you, have her smack you in the side of the face just to wake you up a little bit. Get that boy an espresso shot. He's up too late. He's up too late with China talking about the supplier. He's like,
that's it.
Yawning.
It's been a stressful week. She was just worried if you guys were going to play the national anthem, if I was going to kneel or not on the show. So
no. Don't go there. Don't go there. All right.
Yeah, it's been a hectic week, man. Oh my gosh.
Rosalind wants to know, Scott, my supplier will print and include an A5 colored insert card, which is awesome. Can you give me some ideas, please, on what I should or should not put on it? So, Scott, I wanted to kind of jump to you first. And Dom, do you guys use insert cards?
Yeah, we still do. We put an insert card, either a postcard size or just a business card size, depending on what product it is. Just, again, the old school way of doing it, I don't know if it does anything. I mean, we get emails here and there, but it's not like we're getting 100 a day.
Right.
We're selling, hundreds of products a day, but we never, I'll see it come in from our account manager, email manager that we got it linked to, and we'll get 2 a day. So it's, if I look in there, we might have, 2,000 emails that we've gotten over 4 years. But whatever, it's we put it in more for the warranty, just to make it look, full legit. People kind of feel, even if it's a $50 product, people feel more comfortable when they have that in there, kind of thing. And that's basically it. I guess it's just a process. We just haven't got into it. But
I think also, though, Dom, even more so than insert card for driving to a landing page to get an opt-in, I'm not necessarily saying that's the main thing that we're doing it for. To me, it's like you've always said too. It's like part of your brand, part of your packaging. It represents kind of the brand or the product. It gives it a little bit of a higher perceived value. But I think the things that you can include on there, and I think that are always helpful, are ways to use the product better, or tips to use the product, because that way there it's going to be a happy customer, and a happy customer now will maybe leave you a review or feedback, right? So there's those things that go into it as well. I know we put them either in or on the packaging, and then this really is not necessarily to drive to an opt-in. It's more or less to drive to a resource or another way to show how the product can be used. Again, trying to give that customer a little something extra to make it easier to use the product so they're happy. That's what I'm saying. And I think the other thing is, don't print something. This is a big tip. Do not print something that is lightweight paper. Do not put a little flimsy, a little piece of paper in there and think that you're doing good. I'd rather not put anything in. Because if I do that, it seems like you printed it off your inkjet printer, and they're like, "Oh, this is homemade cookies." You know what I mean? So you want to. You didn't get that reference, Chris?
No.
Have you ever gotten cookies and someone will either put a little note in the bag like your grandmother? Oh, have fun at school. All right, I guess that didn't make sense, but it makes sense.
No, when you explained it did, but I was like, why are people sending homemade cookies in product boxes, and where can I buy these?
That may be something, though. If you're selling chocolate chip cookies, put a little note in there that's in a grandma's script, and then it'll look more like it's homemade, and people will love that.
What
I meant was It's not homemade. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a homemade product necessarily. If you're going after that feel and that look, then yes, use some flimsy little paper. But I think
like the
hardcover stock, you know, shiny, glossy, good graphics.
Yeah, 14 point stock. You know, it's not, you're not writing you know, congratulations on a little letter to tape onto flowers. That's what you're talking about. You know, yeah, 14 stock, 18, 16. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. It looks nicer. Semi gloss, the full gloss is pretty well the same price, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, it's so cheap and overseas. You know, you want to get that over in Canada and US. Yeah, it's going to cost you lots, but there it's, you know, to the point that we actually get stuff printed for other stuff, our wholesale division over there, and bring it over here.
Oh yeah.
At 10 cents a piece here, they want 65 cents. You know, times 1,000 units or 10,000. I just get it done over there.
Hey,
and you.
No, go ahead.
And you could do that type of stuff if you just want a generic insert card. Like, even if you guys don't want to get the stuff done there, you can get that stuff done on AliExpress pretty fast, and it's cheap. Business cards, they're cheap, you know, laminated, not laminated, and it's, you can just put out your warranty card on there and just get the same logos, and you can print 10,000, get the set, and you just insert them yourself if you're you know, processing everything at home, that type of stuff. So there's ways to do it cheap.
Cool.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different ways that you can go with the insert card. One is something like an instruction manual, right? The other is with just a little bit of branding on it, right? Throw your logo, throw your URL on there. The second would be an email capture, and the two things that tend to work really well in there are either like a product warranty registration, like Don was talking about, or something like a giveaway. And if you're going to do a giveaway in that sense, I would make it a smaller prize, but a more frequent draw, if that makes sense, Scott. So like a $50 Amazon gift card or something like that you're drawing once a month. And you're going to get a bunch of people that take you up on that. The thing that's kind of cool about those insert cards is because there is a barrier to entry, those are the people who really want to be talked to by you, right? They have to physically go to their computer. They're not already on their computer. They have to go to their computer, go to the website, type in their email address. There's a couple barriers to them actually entering that. So those emails can be really valuable to get, even if you only get 0.5% or 1% of those, right? So 1 out of every 100 people actually fills that out. Those would be the people that I might try launching the next product with, right? If you don't otherwise have a product launch list, because then at the very least you have some email addresses there that have interacted with your brand in the past. They've experienced what you have to offer, and they're probably happy customers because they took the time and effort that it took to take the extra 3, 4, 5 steps to actually fill that out. Does that make sense, Scott?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Jeremy said also, depending on the product, there's going to be more better conversion rates during Q4. So if you can stay in stock, things will absolutely scale. And I think that is important. There's many more eyeballs during Q4 than there is during the rest of the year. And that's one of the reasons like Amazon charges $300 to $500 for those Black Friday, Cyber Monday lightning deals, just like they did during Prime Day. And if you can take advantage of that, just like with PPC, if you can kind of grease the wheels right now, and you can get in, you can get launched, and you can stay in stock, then you're gonna see that help play out through the rest of the year as well. Ali had a question. He said, I started 10 weeks ago and I have a product in private label which is selling 7 to 10 a day.
Nice.
I figured in, what?
I said nice.
I figured in my market there are 2 other guys that are selling another model of the product. I'm making one out of a different material, but they're both selling the exact same product with the same color even. They're selling between 15 and 20 units a day of each, so each variation. I'm thinking to launch the same product but with 2 other variations and add more holes in the garlic press. I'm trying to launch a different color variation of my own product, so I'm thinking to do all of this by the beginning of November. What do you guys think of this move? So the first thing here, Ali, would be to pick one thing and focus on getting that off the ground. Yeah. I wouldn't focus on launching exactly the same product that's already out there and a color variation and improving upon the product that's already out there so you can have a different variation of that. Pick the thing out of those 3 that you think is going to net you the best return and focus your time and energy and effort on getting that one thing done. Once you've done that, you can focus on one of the other 2 or figure out that there's a better opportunity. So Scott, what are your thoughts on launching just a color variation versus launching something that you know is probably going to be successful because there's other people in the marketplace selling 15 to 20 of them a day?
Well, here's the deal, right? On color variations, and we actually are running into this kind of in one of our products. We have 4 different variations. And although it's easier to do that, because you already have everything in place. And I do think, and I think Dom's a big believer in variations. And if you know that the red is selling as well as the black or the brown or whatever, then absolutely, then I would sell that, so that way there you can gain more sales, because people could be landing on your product and going, I don't want it because it's black. I need a brown. If there's enough demand for that, then absolutely that would be your easiest path. But if that's not the case, if you're just doing it because you want to pick up an extra couple of sales, but you can go over here and launch a product that could get 15 sales on its own, then I would do that. But here's the other thing. If that other product also relates to the other product, then that's even a better scenario. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
And I'm kind of on board with that. I wouldn't launch a color variation just to launch a color variation. No. If you can see that there is tangible demand in the market for a blue one or a brown one, then go for it. And this advice kind of falls under the category of advice that you and I always give on variations. When people are like, do I need to launch all 10 right away? The answer is no. Pick the 1, 2, or 3 variations that are getting them their 70, 80, 90% of sales and focus on those.
Yeah.
Then worry about the fuchsia and the turquoise and whatever else random color variations that you may see that are out there that are picking up a handful of sales, just to kind of round out that catalog and to pick up those additional customers. Dom, do you kind of feel the same way about color variations? I know a lot of the variations that you put together are around like quantity or size, not as much on the color side. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, we do have some variations where it has to do with colors, but depending what branding what brand we're in. Again, we try not to launch, no matter what brand I'm in, or 2, 3 brands that I'm associated with. I try not to launch anything that doesn't have a variation. I don't like single SKU items. It's really tough to get entry point for competitiveness. Most competitors will only have 1 or 2. If you can come in 3, 4, then it makes it easier. But yeah, I mean, those are only 3 things you can do, right? Size, color, or quantity, right? So the more you can do, I would try to do it around launch. Again, it's no reason to launch 4 different colors after. If you find that you've got the same color and then that you've been in demand for another color, then you could definitely do it, especially if it's the same type of product. I would definitely go for that. I mean, for Q4, if you want to get done by November, it's going to be some challenge, obviously, unless you're sourcing it from the U.S.
Oh yeah,
that's it. So now, I had a question. I know that one of our good buddies, Bill Strut, went through a question, and we're kind of going through in a couple of SKUs. I want to talk to you guys about it. So I have a kind of a question.
Sure.
So basically, it's a product that we ran out of, and we got it back in. But since we've got it back in, the competitive has dropped. It's dropped a big variation, like $5 to $6 in pricing. But obviously, by the time we got it in, we ordered it, we got the stuff. We've paying a lot of PPC dollars to get it through, up to maybe even $3 a keyword just to punch it through. We're almost back onto page 1, but we're running out of inventory. Do we order more because we put all that money into PPC again? Just kind of like Bill did with his thing, or do we just forget about it with that? So you guys kind of follow what I'm saying? So we put money in it. We've got it.
Yep. I understand 100%.
My team, do we put the effort to go through it? Are we ever going to get back to our original retail price? Should we let everyone else sell through their stuff and then people will come back to us because our product, and we have more variations than everybody and more quantity in the items. So that's what gives it the advantage over the competitors.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and I know Bill's situation completely, and I've already given Bill what he's supposed to be doing. So we're gonna leave it at that. He's got 30,000 sessions on a product, and we're not taking advantage of that. So that's my first thing.
That's a different thing. Yeah,
it's a different thing, but still, it's like, should you be focusing on this other thing that you got to really push with pay-per-click? And if you do, there's other people that have come in, and yet his product is better, and your product may be better, or it may offer more. But do people really care? Is the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the problem is we need to order it now if we're going to do it. Do we want to sink another few $1,000s into that product when our return is basically breaking even right now? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we've lowered it so high. That's what we preach, right? A low entry point, a lot of PPC to get back up to the top if you're not, or if you're starting brand new. So we're basically doing a new launch is what's happening. Like and it's taken us a long time to get back to page 1 because we were out for 5 months, right? That's how long. Remember, I've always said it takes you just as long to get back to where you ranked as basically how long you've been out of stock. So we don't know because the price point. It's not like it's a $30 price point and we're down to 20. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we can still make it's it would be like 15 down to 8. So we're listening.
Fatima says no. I absolutely love that. And you know what? I say the answer is no. That's what I say. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen to the wife on that one.
Do not argue with Fatima.
What she's gonna put up next? Save the money so we can go with Mr. Voelker and his family and Jimmy the Shark and his family to Vegas for the weekend in January. Apparently, was where we're going. So she says she wants to take that money and do that instead.
Oh, that is funny.
Okay,
so my thought is though, Dom, and I mean, you're usually really good about this. It's kind of like a lot of work, and you've got other things that you could do that aren't as much work, and take that resource or those resources and the energy and put it into that. Yeah. Why hold on to it just because you've already kind of invested in it and you kind of want to see it through? And that's kind of what we talk about, right? Not marrying the product.
That's right. I'm bringing it up because I've had people ask me myself, and I'm just using myself as an example.
And Bill is going through something very similar right now.
Exactly the same thing. Yeah. It's a common thing, especially for fourth quarter. Do we take that money and put it in something else, a new product, or re-ramp? So that's why I wanted to get go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
I brought it up.
Yeah, I mean it's a great point. I think that it's something that people could be facing if they've launched, they've ran out of inventory. Since then, they've seen other people have come in. The price is low. But in the open brand type stuff, it's kind of easy to cut that off. But if it's a product that's supporting the brand, that's different, right? And you've talked to me a lot about that. So it's kind of funny how, you're asking for a little bit of guidance, and I've asked for guidance in the past on these similar things, because I'm like, here's these things that people are selling in our space. I don't really want to do it because everyone's going to do it, and eventually it's just going to go down to nothing. And you're like, but you might want to, just because people are going to buy from you because you're a brand that offers this thing.
It's just be an add-on thing.
Exactly. So I think that's another question. Like, is it the brand or is it open brand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's part of the open brand. It's just a random product.
So it's a random product. I say you pull it up and you snip that thing and you let that thing drop and you go on to the next.
It was never a big money maker, but it was just 2 years ago when we started selling it, and it's kind of died off now. And exactly the same thing. I brought it up more so because I bet people out there, maybe they're not asking, but I know there's a lot of people in that same predicament because it happens all the time. Question. And it's like, do we spend money because we know we're going to run out just before Christmas starts?
Yeah.
And then we put all the money into PPC. Do we say, okay, well, that was kind of a waste. Let's order more and let's fight the battle. Or you should just again, Bill's product's way more expensive. It's a way bigger niche than what this product's in, and he's got more commitment, than what I'd be willing to do. But you've already put the work into it. It's like it's working at a company for 10 years, and then they say, look, we want to package people off. Who wants to get packaged off? Or you can just keep working, and eventually you're going to get packaged off anyways. But we're giving you the chance now. What do you do? Well, I've been there for a long time. I don't know what to do. It's kind of like that scenario. But anyways, I think my wife answered the question for me. So, but if anybody out there is in the same situation, again, I think even with your brand, you're going to be in that situation. You're already talking about, like, do we really order these?
Well, there are. Dom, there's 2 SKUs right now.
Yeah.
We have about 800 of the one and probably about 300 of the other, and we're just going to sell them out and we're done with them because we want to put efforts in other things. And I've actually had a conversation with our partner that I said, listen, we're not going to launch another product until we liquidate those 2. I'm not going to have those things sitting there. Our company assets are sitting there. We need to take that and then use that rather than just going and keep buying and buying and buying.
I think the more issue about these ASINs are that they are selling through because of PPC. So we are selling lots because of the price point and PPC and what the product is. So it's not like it's dead. It's just we're not making no money on it.
But the minute you raise your price, you're not going to sell them.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the answer then, right? The only way you're going to sell this is, well, there's a couple things. If you can get the product lower, right? Then that makes sense because you can still run the pay-per-click and still like make money, but you got to reduce the cost somewhere. You either got to reduce pay-per-click or you got to reduce the cost of goods because you can't raise the price because the market's not willing to pay it.
Yeah, that's right. And right now to get it in, we could probably cut the price if we order more units. So we'd have to order 5. We could bring the cost down 30, 40 cents, but then the cost of shipping is going to cost us because we're going to have to fly. CBM, the weight of shipping right now is crazy. So really, you just lose all that margin again. But okay, cool.
Cut it.
Just okay. I got it.
Cut it and take your wife out to dinner.
Yeah, okay. That I think is the key. You know, there is going to be a difference in that decision between like an open brand, like we talked about, and a brand. Scott, because if we had a product that was break even for us, but it was like crucial to bringing people in the front door, we wouldn't hesitate to reorder that because everything else that they might buy from us goes together. If you're in an open brand and it's break even, take that thing out and go for it. Renfrew says opportunity cost. Scott just hit that. Ruben wanted you to know, Dom, I've been around for a couple months, but I saw your weight loss progress. I went back and watched some of the older episodes. You're a beast, man. Kudos for taking action. So, Dom, I wanted to give you that shout out because I know a few months ago that 1K Fast Track shirt didn't even fit, and now it's a little big. Now it doesn't fit the other way.
Yeah, it's a little loopy. I have to get into. This is, I think, still I don't know if this is the extra large or the double X, but I know you gave me smaller sizes. I remember trying that baby on in South Carolina, and it was Love Handle City, that's for sure. When I had it on,
but here's the deal: you fit into it before you wouldn't have. And I gave you those smaller shirts because that was your incentive, right? That's for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, I got to it's all mindset, though, right, Scott? I mean, you know that. You're all about that. It's, it wasn't a focus for me to lose my focus about business, getting bigger, making more money, building this place, doing this, but it was never focused about getting healthy to enjoy what I've got. So once, we kind of sit back, and obviously there's a reason why I did it because of my health and other things in the background that people don't know. And that was it. When I focus on something, we're pretty good at it. Successful, and again, I think when you have a good team, it's a lot easier, right? You helping me, forcing me to tell you every Tuesday, send me pictures of food to eat. It's the same thing with us, helping people in this business model. We're giving out the information, we're helping people, we're guiding through. Again, you take it as you will, with a grain of salt if you want. Yeah. But
accountability, it's all that.
Accountability, yeah, exactly. So
and to me, it's a ripple effect because someone in your warehouse has also lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, it's definitely a ripple effect. Again, my wife has lost 50 pounds. My other employee basically is my warehouse manager since my mother-in-law has been working too much with us, and he was 310. He's 175 now.
Oh my gosh,
140 pounds.
Wow.
At the same time, even more than I have, just because he's really at it, to the point now where we have to tell him, okay, that's it, you're good, stop working out, stop. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to be, 150? So it's good, and attitudes change. It's amazing. Hey, what's going on, Dom? Nice to see you. Oh yeah, this is what I got done today. Coming in at 7 o'clock on time and not taking longer breaks, and it's just for me. It was a struggle to get up at 8 o'clock before. Now I'm up at 6:30 with my daughter and my wife, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get to work early. So it allows me more time to work because we all, again, and I don't know who said it, but we all have the same 24 hours, right? It doesn't matter. We all have the same 24 hours. So
100%.
whatever can get done. And then,
that's awesome. Yeah, and I want everyone that is watching, that has been watching along the journey, and just to again appreciate you guys recognizing that and letting him know, because that's huge for people that are putting in the work. And Dom, I think what are you at now as far as how much has been lost to date?
I'm almost down to 230, so I've lost that would have been 130 pounds, I think. Yeah, I was 350, so what's that?
Yeah,
that's 130 pounds. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 120 pounds. Yeah,
yeah, and I know we're going off on a little bit of a non-Amazon direction, but I think it's worth it. And just to let people know, it's a little personal, but I don't think you mind sharing it. But you were actually considering having something done to help you with this weight loss. And
yeah, for sure.
You actually went to that doctor, and the doctor said, you're never going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do it. The success rate is so low, yada, yada, yada. And you did it the old fashioned way. And here you are, not even a full year yet, right?
So we started February 8th, my mother-in-law's birthday.
130 pounds naturally.
Yeah. I was at that. Well, I'm just at the point, and we can revert it probably to private. I don't want to be a focus on me. It's I appreciate you've basically helped me all. it's changed my life. Everything cares about us working together, you know, and with TAS and 1K Fast Track. It's a lifestyle change what you've helped me with, and it's been amazing. And that's why you're here, man. And you're not just here to, again, guys, I know, you know, you guys offer programs and we offer programs. Everyone thinks, you know, in this type of market that you want to hear, we want to sell you a course. We want to sell. That's why we take an hour and 20 minutes every week to come in and answer people's questions. Because we care about the business model. We don't like what other people are doing to it, turning it into a thing. And for Scott to take time out of his life to help me as a friend, because when we first started, we had, you know, we're, you know, a year into our friendship. Now we're almost 2-3 years into our friendship. So, you know, it's amazing. And yeah, I was at the point where I said I had to change my lifestyle and I have to do it dramatically. I got, you know, I was basically at the end of what can I do? And it's just like private label. Even if your product's not selling, just don't give up. Just, you know, try to figure something out, you know, scale back, change the product, sell out, and start all over again. Again, I've learned from all my mistakes. And we all know the process of losing weight is probably easier than keeping it off. But on the way, I've learned lots of things to help me maintain. I'll probably gain some weight back and forth, and I'm already ready for that, but I put measures in place. I've learned from all the mistakes I've made to get me this size. So, yeah. And I take that into my private label and retail all the time now. You know, I think it through, you know, I got a different process. If you have to pivot, you got to do that.
You have to.
So,
yeah, that's awesome. Awesome job. Yeah, I'm psyched every time I think about it. And I told you I had another friend, going back, it was on my 40th birthday. So going back 5 years, and it was a year before that. So it was 6 years ago. And same thing. I mean, he kind of, he heard what I was doing. He's like, oh, wow, man, you know, like, what are you doing? And I said, I was doing P90X back then. And he's like, oh man, I'd love to do that. I'm like, it's going to be a hard program for you. You're like 300 pounds. I think, no, he was actually 280. He's a short guy, 280 pounds. And he's like, you know, I don't think I can do that. So I ended up having him just do similar like you know, like just work out what you can do, like walking, and then just dial your calories in, and gave him some guidelines on what he could do, and then he did the rest. And you know, he lost 100, just about 100 pounds. He was 180 pounds now, I think. So
Dom lost so much weight that he's disappeared completely.
He literally disappeared. He lost so much. But anyway, yeah, I just want to say, you know, we're all about helping people in life, in not just in getting, you know, or making the money come in the door. I said this today. I was doing a podcast episode I recorded, and it was like, you know, the money allows us to do the things that we want to do, and it makes us be able to go after our why and enjoy our why and do all that stuff. And if you don't stop to kind of like take it all in and digest, you're just doing it for the wrong reasons, and you won't last. And it's like you said, Dom, it's like a way of life. Are you still going to have a piece of pizza? Yes. Do you know your limitations? Yes. Do you know you have to get right back to it Monday morning because you had a slice of pizza on Saturday? Yes. You went to a bachelor party, you had a few drinks. Well, you did, but you fall off a little, you come back. You fall off a little bit, you come back, and that's okay. Yeah. And that's business. You know, you start something, it doesn't work as well. You know, you gotta pivot, right? You gotta change things. You gotta change the course. So it's like anything that we do. I mean, nothing is going to. We can have a plan, and I think we all should. But things going to happen. We're going to get pulled in different directions, and it's up to us to adjust and navigate the world, you know what I mean, of our journey and all that. So anyway, that's my little tidbit there. So Chris, any other quick questions?
No, we got a lot of love coming in for this discussion. I think this is an important discussion, even though it's not really related necessarily to Amazon as a whole. But when you feel better, you function better. And when you function better, you business better, right? You do everything in your life a little bit better. And Dom, I know that was one of the big reasons for you to start on that whole journey, was you wanted to spend, you know, better quality time with your family. You wanted to be able to do all of the things, and you wanted to be able to function in your business. And what you don't realize a lot of time is that the decisions you make in the food and in the other things, you know, the drinks and some of the other things that you do impact each and every one of those other things as you go through your day. So as you start to clean that stuff up, it gives you more energy, it gives you more time, it gives you more focus, it gives you better sleep so that you can wake up at 6 a.m. and not roll around and ride around till 8:30, 9 o'clock and regret getting up. It's important. And if you guys have any questions about any of that kind of stuff, don't hesitate to ask too. Just because it's not about Amazon private label doesn't mean that we won't point you to something that might be able to help you out.
I mean, it's all careless calories, right? That's basically it. Even though this is a healthy lifestyle, I had an unhealthy lifestyle. And when you're in that rut, it's tough. It's really tough to get out of it. You know, it's whether you're in business or personal. Everyone gets in these things. It's how you could get out of them and the longevity of it, right? You know, my goal now is to see how health. If I could stay at this weight for 10 years versus being that weight for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Now that this is my focus, right? The transition over. And yeah, it's just like, you know, all the other diseases that are out there, you know, whether it's alcoholism or, you know, anything else, it's you live with it, and you know, you never really want to deal with it because it's, you know, like it's part of your life and you don't want to go on it. And I mean, for me, it was a lifestyle change because of my health and my family. And again, yeah, again, if I want to do more passive income, no matter how much money I would make, and I've said it lots of times, and you guys, same situation, I can't really enjoy it. You know, I just can't fit in a car if I want to buy a fancy car. I can't go anywhere. I can't fit in a plane to come and to go for TAS meetups because I'm 350 pounds. I have to buy 2 seats. I'm uncomfortable. My back is killing me. So no, it's all motivation and perfect timing. So anybody who's out there too, man, you guys can get through it, and we're here for you. Obviously, you know, if anybody needs, you know, help with that situation, and I mean, we're not going to say some stuff, but I mean, we know a lot of good guys that are into that. We're a lot of big boys that are sellers in Amazon and eBay, and big girls, and you know, it's just not, nobody wants to be called a big guy. Every time I go in the room, I was always the biggest guy at the TAS meetups, right? You know, and stuff like that. So it's good now. Again, if you're happy with the way you are, great. If not, then, you know, you have to change. You have to basically focus on it and make it a focus.
I kind of think I hear an episode, how a private label seller loses 130 pounds and profits more in business and in life.
Well, you know,
I just literally wrote that down.
You could. I profit more from the experience that we've had, Scott, and we don't know what the future will hold with us, but you know, no matter how much money I can make, you know, selling product or any of that stuff, researching, releasing products, wholesale, or even helping people, coaching people, doing the 1K fast track. Without your health, it doesn't matter. You name all the richest guys in the world.
Totally.
If they die of cancers and other illnesses, doesn't matter how much money you have. So again, my thanks to you personally, Scott, and, you know, and Jim a little bit in the back end, and Chris obviously for motivating me, and even Joel to a point, you know, kind of keeping me in line sometimes when we see him live. But you know, it's been a whole team effort, and that's why we do this stuff. We're here, and if anybody, again, you hit it on the nail. It doesn't have to be just about. I know this is it's supposed to be a private label / retail arb, and it's 80-90% private label and a little bit of retail arb, but personal stories base who we are. You know, again, I'd rather be known as the guy that's helped people than the guy that just, you know, oh yeah, this guy only knows about private label or retail arb, and that's not what we're all about, right? It's a family community here you build. That's why you got 50,000 plus people in your Facebook group, which I congratulate you for that. And, you know, 3 years in now and 400 plus episodes, and a year from now we'll be at 500 episodes. And, you know, the future is definitely bright for TAS and everything else that we put into it. Yeah.
And, you know, and I told you this before, you know, I mean, stuff like this, it just fires me up. And I know it does Chris, and I know it does Joel. I mean, we're all about really just a better lifestyle, and not just the money. The money is there. We know the money is there. We can all have the money. The money is there. It's there, right?
Yeah.
You just got to go out there and figure out your plan to go out there and grab a little bit of it. But to be able to enjoy it, to be able to have clarity, you know, have a better focus, have a better life with your family, that's everything. So we'll definitely be talking more about this, because I want to highlight this. I know there's people in right now in our TAS audience that are heavy. They are not happy. They think money is going to solve that problem, but they also know that if they just felt better about themselves, they could wake up happier. Whether they have any more money or not.
I know 2 out of the 3 people standing here have felt that way.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference. And again, listen, I know there's guys out there watching us now. They're saying, guys, just shut up. Just talk about private label and retail arb. And I apologize personally for that, but I don't think we're ever just going to be about that. So I want to say that, Scott. Again, I know you will never bring it up, but, you know, we can't just always talk about, you know, one thing all the time. So to those people, I kind of apologize. You know, if you don't want to stick around because we're talking about this, I get it. But I think it's a life lesson. I've learned it lots. I was always about money, cashing in, and let's make thousands of dollars, and let's get 10,000 products at eBay. Let's release 150 ASINs. And then when this lifestyle changed, now I'm like, you know what? I want to spend time with my daughter. I want to release a couple products. If I don't get it done, I'm great. But you know what? I can breathe at nighttime. I don't have to use a sleep apnea machine. And my life is just, 180. It's a lifestyle change. And for the bigger people that are out there, again, you don't think it goes together. Like, what's private label got to do with that? It's showing that you can pursue something that you want to accomplish and lose weight and keep it off. You can take those initiatives and put it into your private label business, and you'll have more energy to do it.
Totally.
You can stay up to 1 o'clock and still get up at 6 if you have to, and not be falling asleep at work because you're doing it part time. And that's the lesson out of this, guys. It's not everybody's going to be in our situation where they can just do one thing and concentrate on private label. Some of us can. And some of us can't, but if you're in that situation.
But also, Dom, and we're gonna end on this, but I did want to say this, almost like this right now too, and I know this will happen because it's happened just with me in the past. Whether I'm helping someone financially or if I'm helping someone in just a different lifestyle, maybe mentally, just getting through like maybe even a bad marriage or whatever, right? Like I've actually had friends that I've gotten divorced, and I've kind of help them along because I have a healthy relationship and I know what it's about. And I know
I get
about all that. So I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm just saying I've been through a lot of that stuff and I've seen a lot of that stuff. But I know there's going to be people listening and they're going to be watching and listening to your story and kind of how we've actually done this. And that's going to translate to them carrying it over to someone that they know, telling them the story, and then asking maybe even messaging you or me and saying, hey, what did you guys do? And we'll tell them it's simple. It's this and this. And then they just translate that, and then they come back and they go, hey, I shared that with my brother-in-law, and he lost 60 pounds. And he feels better. You know what I mean?
I would love nothing to be able to see in the 1K Fast Track or the TAS Facebook is, hey, I've got 5 ASINs. I used to be 400 pounds, and 6 months later, because I've lost 80 pounds. Here's a picture of me before and after, and here's my products. Again, it sounds so weird, but it's a niche community. Hey, anybody's willing to do that. I'm up, anybody who ever wants to talk to me about it, I have no problem. You can contact me, no problem. But you're right, Scott. That's if you could pay it forward, that's
totally.
So that's worth 10 times what any other value. But for sure, again, we're not solving somebody's drug addiction here and stuff like that. But this is a lifestyle change if you can do it.
Right?
It is. It's not the reason they don't recognize it in any of the unions or any of the workplaces because everyone would be off for 90 days because they overeat. That's why they don't recognize
sugar detox.
Detox. But you're right. If we can, if we can get to one person and there's guys that we've talked to behind the scenes that we've talked to and said, hey, you need a lifestyle change. And they're like, yeah, but I'm not sure if I can do it. And they know who they are when we talk about them. But I've lost 20 pounds in the last 2 months. Hey, that's great. That's better than what you had before. It's the same way. Well, I'm only selling 8 things a day. Well, what were you selling a month ago? Well, 1.
Yeah.
It's small steps. Eventually you'll get to 20, 30. Again, I've said that to you. Like, I don't give you a full upgrade process update every Tuesday anymore because I'm not losing 8 pounds a day, and it's not sexy for me to call you and say, hey, I've lost half a pound, and you have to say to me, oh, well, it's a weight loss, but to me, I'll just do it in 5s and 10s now, every month and say, hey, I've lost 5, I lost 10, but it's still weight loss because I was 232, now I'm 229. So
you didn't go in the plus, you still went in the negative, which is
exactly.
Huge.
Exactly. So
all right,
awesome,
cool.
man.
So this has been. We didn't think we were going to talk about this, but I'm glad we did. I love hearing this stuff, and I love talking about it. So, and a lot of people were chiming in there. They said, I love this stuff. I love hearing about lifestyle upgrades and mindset and all that stuff. So, I appreciate hearing that because I will be talking more about this stuff on the podcast, in our TAS Breakthrough You, on these Facebook Lives, because that's where I'm going. I'm not going to obviously help everyone like losing weight, but I'm just saying help people in life in general. But any way that I can, that's what I'm going to do. I believe that is what I'm supposed to be doing. And aligning myself with people like Dom and Chris and Joel and our team to help with that is just really powerful. And I'm really excited about that. So 2018 is going to be an amazing year. Anyway, Chris, any last quick questions or anything you wanted to talk about before we jump?
No, and I just want to give a shout out to everybody that hung out with us through that, Scott and Dom. I know you apologized a few minutes ago, but we got a whole bunch of people that said, "Hey, this is why I was sticking around," which is always cool to hear. Because, you know, and Scott, you nailed it on the head. You said, I want to help 500 people, you know, pay their mortgage. But the real impetus behind that is you want to help 500 people achieve their why. And this, honestly, guys, is a portion of it, right? I know that. Dom knows that. We've both been on the other side of where we are now, and it does make a difference in business. So I think that's fantastic, and I wanted to leave with that. Rosalind said, lovely to hear tonight's episode. Stayed in, especially for that.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't know, Chris, that used to be heavy at one time too, right? I don't know if you battled it all your life like I have, but I mean, Joel and, you know, same thing. And
yeah, Chris, what was your weight?
You know,
I was 250. And
that's really
right now I'm about I'm between 170 and 175, depending on the week and how badly I eat. But
I mean, if you look at it, 4 or 5 of us have lost weight. Joel, you know, Angel, all of us. Scott's basically the only one that's got,
I lost weight. Come on, I was at 190 pounds. I lost 20 pounds. Come on.
Listen, I got your portrait here as my screensaver. You're looking pretty good there, my friend. You're pretty ripped, guy. So I've never looked like that. And maybe in grade 4.
I still got some Cheez-It baggage on the sides here.
Yeah.
No, you buy what is it, the Annie's Organic Bunny Cheez-Its? Yeah. Is that what you have at that?
I actually had a couple of them the other day. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. Jesus.
Kayla had them for lunch, so I seen them in there and I took a handful.
You know, I weighed what you weighed in grade 8, right? I was 160 in grade 8, right? So let's you know, you got the spotlight all the time, Scott. Let me and Chris take some spotlight for losing all that. But I mean, it's pretty remarkable because 4 of us have, right? Because Joel's been pretty heavy and Angel's, you know, and a lot of us were heavy at one time. And when we got into this, we just like, we need to transition. I don't know how it worked like that. It's kind of odd, but it did. So we're not the only ones that are doing it.
It comes down to defining your why, and I know we're trying to wrap this up, but like when you realize what your why is, and it's not the money. It's not I want to make $30,000 a month to make $30,000 a month. It's I want to spend the time with my family, right? Which I know is
I make $30,000 a month,
right? And to do both of those things to the best of your ability, once you get to that 30,000, you say, okay, now how do I spend better quality time with my family? And you go, well, you know, I have to buy 2 seats on an airplane. I have, you know, is there a way that I can do this? And when you fix that, you're shocked at how everything else becomes just a little bit easier because you have more energy, you have more clarity, you have all those things.
And ending, I also want to, I appreciate let's take private label, that my big brands are making way more than the open brand, but now I appreciate it doing 40, 50,000 gross a month with the open brand, where I'm like, okay, I need it to be 100, 200,000. If I can't get there, it's a waste of time. But now I look at it, I'm going, I'm happy with that because I can spend more time with my family. I don't have to be like more relaxed. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you got one brand that's doing 25,000, 30 a month gross, or even 20, you'd be happy with that. Like, you always have a lot of hatred when you're bigger. You don't understand the world owes me and I hate myself, the theory, you know, that type of thing. I got to struggle. I sweat. I'm hard, you know, all this type of stuff. You're fighting that. Plus you're fighting financial issues in the background because you can't work as much. And it all goes hand in hand. It's just the way it is.
That totally does.
You know, and now I see that, you know, years into my entrepreneurship, now I actually enjoy it. I'm just like coming into work and, you know, seeing, you know what? Yeah, we're only doing that much today. It's fine. It's good. I'm happy. I can still breathe. You know, I'm not sitting here slouched down because I've had 2 hot dogs already and 4 donuts and 3 iced teas and 2 slushies. And so anyways, it goes hand in hand. So maybe we're going to, we'll, in the next live event, I promise you, if I'm there with you guys, anybody wants to discuss it hand on hand, I will take the time to discuss, you know, how to launch products and how to pick successful products, but as well as, you know, what did I do to lose the weight? And I think, and we did that. I did that a little bit already when we were in South Carolina last time. So people were kind of happy to hear that. So I have no problem.
Speaking of meetups, to kind of massively transition and start to wrap this up, if you guys are in the Dallas area or you want to come to the Dallas area to hang out with us, go to theamazingseller.com/Dallas. That's DALLAS, if I know how to spell. That'll have all the details for our meetup. It's going to be the last Thursday in October, and Scott and I are going to be in Dallas for an event. We're going to have just a little bit of an unofficial meetup at the Omni in downtown Dallas. So if you guys were at our last Dallas meetup, same place, Same bar, same everything. We're just going to be there. We're going to have a drink or two, maybe a couple bottles of water, and we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of discussion. And if you guys can make it, we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't come. I don't think I can come. That's too bad. I'll have to when we do the next official, I'll be there.
Yeah, and we're gonna be talking about that too, so we can get that planned for after the first of the year. We'll probably be doing another TAS breakthrough live. That can be found at the registration page, actually, to just go there and kind of get on the wait list or the early notification list. That's at theamazingseller.com/live.
And Scott, let's let everyone know too, if they're stuck, guys. If you want to get your accounts going and you can't do private label, let's head over to the 1K Fast Track, guys, and we can help you out there. We'll get you set up, get your accounts helped, and get you on your way, because I know people still email in and discussing they're stuck. They still don't know what to do in this fourth quarter. A lot of people are happy in the group that they started 1K Fast Track, because now they're allowed to sell in toys. They've got some feedback already, so it's and they've learned the process. Just the shipping process in Amazon, people get stressed about. Now they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did it now. So
yeah, and I'm going to echo that. Some people say, Scott, I think I'm going to start after the first of the year because I want to wait till I get some capital. I wouldn't wait till the first year. I would do retail arbitrage right now, and I'd start building up that cash right now, because you're approaching fourth quarter, and there's nothing saying you can't get product in there to start selling. So 1K Fast Track, so much
good stuff.
Yeah, so 1K Fast Track is a course that we created with Dom. Dom leads it. It's 5 weeks. It basically takes you all the way through finding the product and where to find them, and then how to list them. And then from there, after the first 2 weeks, or actually the first 3 weeks, you should be generating some cash. The first 7 days, you should be generating some cash. We actually do a challenge, and most of the students have paid for the investment of the class, which is really, really inexpensive. Oh, look at that. Super Nintendo, baby.
That just came out this morning. They're already selling for $200 on eBay. Wow. $250.
Wow.
$99 if you were smart enough to pick these up.
Wow. That's amazing.
I've
got one of them. I've got an old one, though, my original.
Is that the mini, Dom?
That just came out this morning. Yeah, it's a re-release. They're $99 in Canada, $79 new. I checked eBay and Amazon. I think they're like $199 already. Wow. So a lot of guys have gone out. Retail arb, right? They pre-order them. They stand in line, and they go to all the Walmarts and see if there's any leftovers. Put them online, make your $80 and move on.
Zoolerts.com, baby.
Yeah. So go ahead, Scott.
No, I was going to give the link anyone that wants to go check out 1K Fast Track. So it's 1kfasttrack.com, 1kfasttrack.com, and you can go check it out, register there, and you'll be immediately inside of the course, and you'll be ready to go to work, because we're going to give you a challenge your first 7 days, and at the end of those 7 days, you're going to have had some revenue if you actually follow through with it, and you will, because the challenge is designed to do that. So definitely go check that out.
Someone they sold their drone today. Oh yeah, Muriel had some products in there, but they sold a drone for $350 this morning.
Okay,
they were happier that they're like, guess what sold? Then they were happy. Michelle. So that's $350 sitting in their room, nothing. They just made some money. They could put that towards private label. And I know we were over and over. Good time right now, guys, for retail arb. All the big retailers are clearing out all their summer stuff, and they're getting rid of all their third quarter toys in order for the fourth quarter to come in. So there's a lot of closeouts going right now, liquidations.
Yeah, read that. What Rosalind said.
Rosalind said, if I lived in the U.S., I'd be doing 1K Fast Track. Zipping around, picking things up would certainly help with losing weight.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you guys laugh about it, but I stopped going into stores. That was one of the main reasons. When you're 350 pounds, I'd walk for 2 minutes. My back would be dead. I'd be sweating. I go up to the till with 4 things. They're like, is this guy nervous? Is he trying to use a fake credit card? The guy's sweating like crazy. I have no hair. I know. It doesn't sound right, but it's true, right?
No,
sir, do you have ID? Do you have ID? Why? Because I have 800 games on the table here. You think I'm going to use a fake credit card? But again, my weight, and before I used to go to like 20 Walmarts. I'd only go to 1 or 2 or 3 because I'd be dead tired. Yeah. And then basically my business enabled me not to have to go out because I can buy so much product on the back end that I didn't have to do that. So that was good for me. But that's really what happened. But anyways. Funny how it works.
All right. It sounds like we're going to have to do another power hour where we focus a lot on on how to lose weight and make money at the same time. I think that's a good discussion. And I think, Dom, we probably should line that up. Let's do one where we just kind of talk about, actually your conversation with me and kind of how we decided and give them the plan that I gave you. I can even share the text doc that I wrote up for you. And we can maybe help some people lose some weight and in the meantime, lose some make some money and profit.
I'm 100%. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, let's definitely do that. I think that's definitely one worth doing. So I'm gonna make a note of that. We're gonna go ahead and line that up. So look for that podcast.
December 29th. Oh wait.
All right, Chris, if that's it, let's wrap this up. I might be getting disturbed here in a minute anyway. I got my concrete guy coming here, so I don't want to miss him. I got to keep an eye on these contractors here.
To build new concrete shoes.
Gonna fire them off the roof, Voelker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go out there and get a little nasty. I don't want to, but I might have to. No, the concrete guy's a really nice guy. I like him. He's separate from the pool company. The pool company, I'm not using their concrete guy. I'm using my own guy that I went out and found a good one in my area. So meeting with him today. So anyway, I think that's gonna wrap it up, Chris. We good?
Works for me.
All right. Well, everyone that's watching still, or if you're watching this on a replay, share this, like it, comment, let us know what you think about this. If you guys want us to do more on this, if you guys want us to dig into more lifestyle mindset stuff, let us know, because we love talking about this stuff and we love implementing it as well in our own brains. And I mean, I always say that too. One thing I'm going to leave you guys with is like, things that you're putting in your brain, you're literally downloading information in your brain. So to me, it's never been a better time out there to take books, audio books, podcasts, whatever you're into, and just make that a steady diet to put positive things, motivating things, but also things that are going to help you take action and download them right in this thing right here in that brain. So hopefully today you downloaded some goodies in there and you're going to go out there and take action with it, whether that's financially or if you're just going to shed that weight that's holding you back as well. So that's all I got, Chris. Dom, I want to thank you guys and everyone that showed up live. I want to thank all you guys. And if you guys watch this on the replay, you guys are still cool too. But show up here on Fridays at 2:00 and you'll be a little bit cooler. All right. So sorry, I think everyone should be here live. Tell your boss you gotta go. You got a doctor's appointment.
Oh, it is 2:00. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta go. All right, guys, have an awesome, amazing week, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you next week. All right. So take care, and as always, take action.